revolution.
Back in the room once again. Back for a quick one. I don't think I'll be too long this time. But just like a quick update, because as you're all aware by now, I'm dealing with psychotic individuals who've completely lost leave of the senses. You know what I mean? They're mentally unwell. They're not all there. They've dug themselves into a deep hole which they can't get out of, and the desperation it just reeks, you know. And they're attempting anything, you know, to try and free themselves from any accountability of their actions for their chicanery that they have taken part in, which has led them to their inevitable demise. One of which it's constantly with the black magic, always with the black magic. They're addicted to doing black magic. They've wasted vast amounts of money paying practitioners all around the world, spreading the word, telling lies, to get these practitioners to either hex me or bind me to entities, try to get entities, demonic entities, to attach to me, doing sort of like graveyard magic, necromancy, you know, constantly doing death rituals, constantly doing moon rituals, whether it's a new moon, quarter moon, half moon, 3/4 moon, full moon, you know. They're constantly waging spiritual war against me. However, fortunately for me, no matter their attempts, no matter how diabolical or nefarious or sickening their attempts are to try and ruin my life, because they are so pathetic and jealous and green with envy at the fact that I was left an inheritance which would see me comfortably well off for the rest of my days. And, you know, given it's like, well, they're clinically insane, and it sort of tipped them over the edge. They want to know why someone like me, who they deem lesser than themselves, is so fortunate enough to be left an inheritance, a trust fund, a house, a property, you know, or properties, just like, you know, like heirlooms from my actual family. You know, apparently I'm not worthy of receiving an inheritance from my actual family, because my fake family, who've lied to me all my life, plotting and planning to try and end my life for this fortune, as well as taking out a life insurance policy on me because they're part of this cult or coven or secret society, or they've incorporated the uses of all of them, because I believe it's more than just one. You know, there's a lot of people involved, because when I'm sort of like out around my house and out in the village, there's a lot of people, you know, these type of people, they all smiles to your face, you know what I mean? But as soon as your back's turned, you don't know how fast to talk down the sleeve, you know what I mean? Talk down the sleeve at you and mock and laugh and joke as if they're better people, but yet they have to do it behind my back, not in front of me. They're always like trying to crack jokes. And when you see some of these people, like you can see like they were the shit that was left over. You know what I mean? They were like they were scraping the bottom of the semen barrel, you know, when these specimens were produced and brought into the world. Like have you always noticed how the vertically challenged males always talk the loudest behind your back and like behind closed doors, or when they've had a few beers and they're with their gay friends talking shit behind your back? There's a couple, and they all vertically challenged. There's one called, well, I'll not mention his name. But like he's like one of these people. He's held a grudge for over 25 years now over something very trivial, because he's a very trivial human being, very low IQ. You know, they would not know what a deep thought is, or understand the deeper meaning of life. They've all been brainwashed by the mainstream media and of the narrative of being worker bees and consume, be indoctrinated, not educated. So you don't go to school, you go to indoctrination camps to learn how to memorize pointless information and not given the actual real skills that are of benefit to, like, you know, to yourself and to mankind, womankind, you know what I mean? They're just very much like eat, sleep, consume, you know what I mean? Don't ask questions. Educated enough to accept the information that's been given to you, but not educated enough to question the information you're receiving. You know, they're very docile. They're just programmable sheep, you know. And like all programmable sheep, they're very feminine, and they have to gather together, you know, like actual women do. But men, like weak men, do it as well. They try to portray this facade of masculinity, of strength, you know what I mean? But really they're just weak individuals who display a facade of fakeness in front of your face, and then behind your back they're making cheap shots, witty jibes, you know, cheap witty jibes behind your back, because they know if they had to do it in front of your face they would just be humiliated and put in the place and made to look fucking stupid, you know. And like these people, they're just weak individuals. The weak individuals who act like women and call you worse than shite behind your back, and then like, and some of these so-called men are like in the 60s. Do you know what I mean? And like pushing like 60s, 70s. It's, you know, to think you've made it all this far to like your 60s and 70s, and you still have the mentality of a child. Like, do you know how embarrassing that must be? And the thing is, a lot of these effeminate men don't have any self-awareness, and they've always been like acidic and poisonous and venomous, you know what I mean? And they've always been like karmic in nature, toxic, and they've always been like emasculated, and they always have to like stoop to new lows and talk shit behind people's backs. Because at the end of the day, if they did it in front of my face, I'd pull them apart. Do you know what I mean? And they always have to like hang around in gangs. You know what I mean? Or because you know they're so effeminate, to hang around in gangs to feel strong. But like, just let you know, like, and the bigger the gang, right? The bigger the gang, it just lets you know just how weak they actually are, and that it's very easy to target these people, these individuals, one by one, because they're all weak one by one. That's why they need to be large in number to make them feel brave. Like the weakest ones always need a large audience in order to feel brave, but you remove that audience from the same people who like to be bombastic and you know, pompous and indignant and, you know, mouthy, loud, vibrant. You know, when they think they're at the fucking gladiator ring, and they've got all their like adoring fans, but you remove all those people, right, and you'll find very quickly how quiet, how silent it becomes. when the audience is removed from these so-called mouthy individuals who are always seem to be vertically challenged. But anyway, so in the next couple of days, it's the 6th of August. So what is it today? Wednesday, Thursday. So Friday, is it? We have the 8/8 portal, and naturally, these comics are, as you're aware, do nothing but non-stop black magic to try and block my third eye, to stop my intuition, or to try and keep me distracted, which is, at this point in time, just a pointless exercise, because they've already lost. And no matter what plan you try to advance, it's just going to be stopped. It's going to backfire before you even have time to formulate the idea in your shit for brain's head. And consulting Google on witchcraft isn't going to really help you, given that you've run out of money now and you can't pay these expensive practitioners around the world who can't, well, basically have received karma for attempting to place hexes and bind demonic entities to me, or whatever it is that you're trying to do to try and make me less confident, to try and silence me, to try and stop me from speaking and keep me quiet and have me living in fear and intimidation from a bunch of weak pedos, homeless kids. And same as the community who accepted cash bribes from these weak paedophiles in order to keep silent, because clearly money is what is important to you people above everything else. You have no honour, you have no integrity, you don't have a moral compass. You're just a bunch of fucking gobshites, right? Who give it the big, who give it the large, who give it the big one. When you're like in your little packs of like ladies. Well, you're supposed to be men, but you're basically ladies with a cock. Lady boys. Should we just say you fucking lady boys? Right? Who get together and bitch and moan. Worse than women. You're actually worse than females. You're actually worse than homosexuals. But you know what I mean? This is the thing. I don't actually have a problem with whatever sexual persuasion you are. I mean, I've got more respect for a gay man or woman who actually is living their authentic life and who is proud to be who they are, who's not afraid of their sexuality and is not living a lie and who's not trying to cause harm and like an injury and pain or death to someone who has never done anything wrong to them. You know what I mean? Like if you like one of these people who like you're toxic, you're a negaholic, like your whole life's just one big lie and you're constantly in the closet, do you know what I mean? Ashamed of who you are, ashamed of your sexuality, think that there's something wrong with who you are and what you do, and then you have to portray a facade, you have to wear a mask, trying to make out you're something that you're not. Whereas actual genuine people who have embraced their sexuality and who are not afraid to like just live their life authentically, like out and proud, you know what I mean, and not afraid of who they are, what their sexual persuasion is, which way they want to swing. You know what I mean? I've got more respect for people like that because they're not afraid to be themselves, to be who they are. And if they're not causing me any problems, then I don't have a problem with these people. Whoever you are, whatever way you swing, you know what I mean? They don't have a problem with me, I don't have a problem with them. And if they're not trying to rob and steal and kill us, then naturally, I'm going to let them live their life peacefully, just like I want to be left alone in peace. But if the fucking people trying to like poke your nose into my affairs where it's not wanted, then you're fair game, and I'm going to exploit your weaknesses to full effect, right? And I will call you out and insult you and offend you because you're weak and pathetic and you're a coward and you've got to hide who you really are because you're too afraid, especially this day and age in 2025, to be and do what you want. Do you know what I mean? It's 2025, for fuck's sake. If you like having a train gang of men busting your asshole open, go for it. Same with women. If you just like one big massive fucking rug munching contest, go for it. Like, as long as you're living a peaceful life and you're not trying to hurt anyone. I don't care. I don't give a fucking shit which way you swing. But I'm going to take the piss out of you and exploit you and expose who you are if you're going to try and cause me unrest and pain and suffering. Then yeah, because like, you must be really backwards to ever think that I would like allow you to walk over me and use me like a fucking doormat. People who I look at as pathetic, weak and pathetic and fucking useless and stupid and serves no purpose in this life. Of course I'm going to stand up and defend myself. I'm not going to be afraid to speak out and expose everything that you're doing, because you're fucking stupid. You don't have any intelligence, because if you were as intelligent as you like to fucking boast about, right? If you're so smart and so intelligent and so switched on and tapped in, right? You would like, you know what I mean? You would basically stop doing what you're doing. You would stop trying to kill someone. You would stop trying to steal from someone. You would stop trying to frame and set people up. People, like a person, individual, who like wasn't even aware of what I was left, or who I was, or who my actual real family was. You just kept going and going and going and going, because, you know, you thought that I would never find out what you're up to, and so you could just keep on doing what you were doing, and you would get away with it, and no one would say anything, and then you would take me out, and then you'd be able to share my fucking money that was left to me amongst all you fucking perverts, pedos, and fucking waste of fucking space. You low lives, and basically most of you in this village are fucking useless and pathetic and cowards, and have to hang around in packs and behave like fucking toxic women, toxic females, and bitch about people who couldn't give a fuck about you or what you get up to, because, you know, I view you as fucking irrelevant anyway, and I've got better things to do with my time than worry about fucking pieces of dog shit like you. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like, for whatever reason, they're trying to stop me from moving through the portal on the 88 gate portal, whatever, 88 portal, the gate, whatever you want to call it, the door, the window. And they're trying to do all this fucking magic. You know, because like everything else worked before that, didn't it? Oh no, wait, it didn't. And naturally, right, everything's just going to fail this time as well. I've just come on for a quick one, really, just to say, like, look, it doesn't matter what you do now. It's all just going to backfire. It's all just going to fail, right? I'm aware to what you're doing. You can't block my third eye. You can't block my intuition. You can't put us into chaos and confusion, right? But you'll find, if you pay attention, that you are exactly what you're trying to do to me. So the harder you go, like, that's just like at the point now. This is how you know you're dealing with people who've just lost their mind. You constantly have to repeat. But I can also see it from their point of view to a certain degree. They've gotten away with it for so long. They're dumbfounded. Can't believe their eyes, because they've been getting away with it for so long, unhindered. But you were allowed to. You've just targeted the wrong person, right? See, I have a purpose. I'm here for a purpose, right? And I am going to fulfill that purpose. And no matter what you do to try and stop me, you will be stopped, right? To the point whereby you will just be removed completely, and I won't even have to lift a finger, because I'm here for a purpose, right? And I'm aware of that purpose, and I'm going to fulfill that purpose, whether you like that or not. I don't care how you feel, because I'm always happy and I'm unbothered by you people who are irrelevant to me, right? It's already been made clear to me, right? I am here for a purpose, and there's nothing you can do to stop me from fulfilling my goals. The reason why I'm here, you know, my raison d'etre, my joie de vivre, you can't stop it, right? can't stop what's already written. You are not as powerful as you like to think you are. And we're reaching a point in time now whereby your system is in free fall. It's going to collapse. And the harder you try to try and place illusions on me, to try and do your kitchen magic, right? To try and look up on Google, like consult Google for different fucking spells and things like that. It's not going to work. It's already failed. And I'm just here to tell you that you've already failed your mission, right? It's already over. You're sick, you're dying. There's all kinds of people dying around you. There's all kinds of death that's happening, just like I prophesied almost 2 years ago, right? Definitely over a year and a half ago, I said one by one, you're all going to fall. If you don't stop what you're doing, everyone close to you and dear to you is going to fall, they're going to die. You are going to get sick. Fat gut knee tits, 66, you know, with a fucking beak, and the fat gut, ugly. You know, that docile auntie, that's not even my real fucking aunt. Stage 4 cancer that she's got, that she's hiding, because you're all sick and dying. And it's just going to get worse. To the point now you've run out of time. Like, you've actually run out of time. You're literally you've signed your own death warrant. You said over your dead body, right, you made a covenant with the divine when you said that. And now your wish is our command. That's exactly what's going to happen to you. You're sick, you're dying, your organs are failing, you've spread an incurable STD throughout the community that you've been having your sex orgies with. Because that's another thing, like all these so-called cult coven secret society members, right, who have reached that point where, you know, they know that Lucifer is their god, who they worship. They've all been convinced, right, that when they go to hell, it's all one big orgy. Boy, are you people stupid. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but when you expire and shuffle off your mortal coil and you go to hell, there ain't going to be no fucking sex orgy. That's for sure. But yeah, it's over. And all you fake tarot readers, and there are a lot of you, and I know there's one reader being out in all of yous who can't be authentic and original, but they have to use heavy filters in order to make them look attractive, because without them, oh my god. But no, so like there's a lot of fake tarot readers on YouTube that's actually been employed by a CEO from YouTube, trying to get them to spread false information. And well, basically, in the hopes, they're trying to spread false information in the hopes that I won't have discernment and know how to decipher what's true and what's false. I mean, most of these people that's been called out, I know who you are, and I'm not subscribed to you anywhere. Plus, I'm like a polygraph. All you have to do is just keep yapping. Keep yapping with your big gob. And I get the tingles, the spidey senses. I just know there's something not right with you. And then you've got the readers who are like the too late to the party readers, who were talking about shit that's already been and gone. You know what I mean? And right? But there may not actually be nothing wrong with those readers, but like, they talking about fucking shit that's already passed, that you know and you've heard about 1,000 times over. I ignore them as well. There's so many people that I just do not listen to now. I know who's good and I know who's bad. And just as YouTube is going to fall, it is going to fall. And all the fucking people that YouTube's hired to spread misinformation and try and cheapen the spiritual community, the tarot community, who are just trying to get out the honest message, who are just trying to expose all these corrupt networks, all these fucking sex traffickers, all of these paedophiles, all these rapists, all of these fucking drug traffickers, sex traffickers, arms fucking dealers, all these fucking corrupt politicians, these corrupt governments, like the fucking arsehole who's supposed to be a fucking Prime Minister in the UK. That's not a leader. That is a puppet. That is a puppet. And he was taken care of by his Uncle Jimmy. You know, Jimmy Savile. His Uncle Jimmy. Oh, yes. Yes. Very, very close. I believe Jimmy Savile touched Keir Starmer very deeply as a young boy. And he's just a puppet. He's just a puppet who was also a part of a secret society. He's another... they're all part of the same club. Do you know what I mean? And he's just a mindless drone with a low IQ. Like, he only got where he got because he knew how to bend over and spread his arse cheeks. That's how he got where he got. He didn't get there by, you know, by meritocracy, by having the actual skills to pay the bills. He's just been a puppet who's been groomed from a young age by a prolific paedophile known as Jimmy Savile. And now we've got that fucking clown. Not only was he part of the Crown Prosecution Service and made it balls there, now we've got that fucking idiot as the so-called leader of the Labour Party and the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. This man is an idiot. This man is weak. This man's asshole is nipping tight because he's a clown. He's already tried to sell us out again through the back door to tie us back to the European Union without ever putting it to the people. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, democracy is dead. Do you know what I mean? Politics is dead. It doesn't matter which political party takes over now. I've already mentioned this. Those who control the money supply control your government, control your civil service, control your courts. And most of these people, right, maybe not all, but most of these people, right, are part of these secret societies. People with influence, people with affluence. Most of them are part of the club. But this system's dying on its arse now. And they're panicking because of people like me, myself and other people, right, are out there exposing them. And that's why they're trying to bring in these new laws, these new internet laws, to try and have you fucking silenced for exposing corruption. Because, you know, in times of deceit, telling the truth is a fucking, I'm forgetting the actual phrase, but, you know, it's a revolutionary act, shall we say. In times of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act, and these fucking liars, these corrupt politicians, these dodgy cunts who've done nothing but steal and rob us blind, who give away billions of pounds to other countries. It just goes to show we're paying too much tax. So they giving away billions of pounds to other countries and then taxing us higher to fill apparently a £50 million black hole now. It was 22 billion last year. Now it's 50 billion. And that's because they're giving fucking billions of pounds away in foreign aid and to help other fucking countries, when it could be better spent helping our own. But no. So they give away the taxpayers' money, right, to overseas vanity projects, and then say complain that we don't have enough fucking money and we have to fill a black hole of fucking billions of pounds that these corrupt bastards have given away to other countries, basically destroying the country, right, treating its actual citizens as second-class citizens, while flooding the country with illegal immigrants who hate us anyway. Because, you know, again, these bankers took us to war for resources in their homeland that we fucking plundered, that we bombed and destroyed. So naturally they hate us. They hate us with a passion. And now they've been carted over here. Single men of fighting age, no women or children. No trying to flee their homeland because it's this, that and the other. No, it's all single men of fighting age being housed in 4- and 5-star hotels, completely funded by the government. Billions of pounds. billions of pounds being spent on illegal immigration that's funded by the government anyway to bring them over here, because it's all part of a sinister plan. And as I say, it's thesis, antithesis, synthesis, problem, reaction, solution. So the problem is the illegal immigration, which is going to cause a reaction of civil unrest. And to try and calm down that civil unrest, they're going to introduce a digital system that completely controls us by tracking and tracing us, like the Chinese social credit system. Right, and that's all coming, and that's all what they're trying to do, and they're trying to push that hard. And people like me, they don't like, because we're waking people up to the bigger picture of what these elite pedos are doing to the Western world, and they're going to bring it to its knees, and they're going to turn us into a literal third world shithole that's going to be destroyed through civil unrest, to the point where they're going to reduce the population, and they're going to have a different nation in there that they believe is going to be easier to manipulate, while killing off white Christian men and women, and, you know, reducing our numbers dramatically, because they believe people of a darker colour skin are easier to manipulate. Well, we'll see what happens, won't we? But I think I'll leave it there. I don't want to try and I don't want to make the video too long this time. But yeah, I'll just I'll leave it there, and I'll come back with another one in a while. So see you later.
Coming your way.
Selector.